Hello friends, it's Wayne Polson coming to you from Heartwood, right next door to SM Heartland. Heartwood is the place that Susie and I moved into about 2 years ago, and it has become our humble little homestead here in northeastern Ohio. We've been working at making this place a home. We've been adding animals and just having a lot of fun doing it. And a lot of you have been coming along for the ride, watching us do that as well. Folks, it's been a little while, hasn't it, since I've talked to you, and I'm going to take a little bit of time right now just to say a few things to you. If you don't want to listen to any of this, you can skip ahead to where the action begins. Go ahead if you want to do that, but I'd appreciate it if you'd stick around because this is about you and a little bit of news about me. Folks, I want to thank you first of all for being a subscriber to this channel. It's a success. It honestly is, and it's a success because of the type of people you are. You people are genuine, honest, sincere people, humble people. When you guys leave comments down below these videos, they're very engaging, very meaningful to me. It gives me a lot of encouragement. There's so much I love hearing from you in these comments. I love the suggestions, the corrections, the times that you straighten me out when I've screwed things up in my videos. I appreciate that so much. By the way, if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. It's a great place for you to be. It's a great place for your family. I would love to have you, and I'd love to have you meet some of the people on the channel. So folks, I want to tell you about liking these videos. When you hit the like button, YouTube looks at that and says, hey, Susie liked my video. Why don't we show it to Ed? When Ed watches it and he hits the like button, YouTube says, hey, Ed liked it too. Let's find some more people like Ed and Susie. Hey, how about Norman over here? Norman loves it, so he gives it a thumbs up, and then they show it to Alex, and Alex likes it, and Henry likes it, and Hank and Joe and Tom. Everybody starts loving the videos, and it gets a lot of circulation. We gain subscribers, and the channel grows. Now, I don't have 1 million subscribers. I don't have 100,000 subscribers. I don't have 10,000 subscribers. I have about 1,800, and I love where it's at. Of course, I would like it to grow, but I don't want it to become unmanageable. I don't want it to become impersonal. I love where this channel is headed, and you guys are making that possible. I sure appreciate you all very much. So please remember to hit that like button. It does a lot to promote the channel. Let me talk to you about me. In about a week, next Friday, as a matter of fact, on the 15th of December, 2023, I'm going to be undergoing knee surgery, and it's a total knee replacement this time. Those of you who know the channel, know my background, you know that in 2015 I had a procedure called arthrosurfacing. And the arthrosurface procedure takes a metal device and sticks it in the end of my femur, and they put a plastic spacer in the back of my kneecap, and that eliminates bone-on-bone friction, which alleviates pain. And that worked successfully for the last 8 years. My surgeon at the time said it would last 7 years. Well, I would say I was in pretty good shape for 7 years. Over the last year, I've started having issues, just as he said. So there's a need now for a total knee replacement. That's the next step, and I'm a little bit nervous about it for a couple of reasons. Those of you, again, who have watched the channel and know my past, you also recall that in 2015 I had a post-op infection that set me back almost 11 months, and it was a terrible time in my life. 11 months of full-strength antibiotics 24/7. It just did terrible things to my body. It prevented me from dying, which is the important part. But yeah, it was devastating in other ways. I don't want that to happen again. The second reason I was a little bit hesitant to jump into this surgery was because in my mind, I had the picture of a total knee replacement as where they take, they take the bottom of your knee and hack it off, and they take the top of your knee and hack it off, and they replace it with like a, I don't know, like a door hinge, something like that, something mechanical that has limits and bumps and grinds, and the thought of that just did not excite me at all. Well, it turns out that today, in this day and age, it's all done robotically and it's done minimally, meaning that, well, what they did is they took a CT scan of my hip, my knee, and my ankle, and they take all that information from the scan and they feed it into a robot. And in this case, it's a product by Stryker Medical called the Mako robot. And what that robot does is it analyzes all of those coordinates and decides where and how much bone the surgeon is allowed to remove. The reason for doing that is it maximizes the fit and comfort of the implants that they're putting in, and it also ends up aligning the hip, the knee, and the ankle so that there's great range of motion. The range of motion, my surgeon says I'll have full range of motion, which I haven't really had that for a while. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be pain-free in the knee. That is awesome. I've had some foot issues. My foot has been hurting, my ankles have been hurting. I'm hoping that that will take care of that issue as well. My doctor says that I should be back to hiking, climbing trees in about 2 weeks.
Inconceivable!
I don't know how accurate that will be. We'll give it a test. We'll give it a whirl. We'll see where we end up. But I can't do any high impact stuff like jumping off the tailgate of a truck. He said that's a no-no. It will damage the knee. So I don't want to do that. And this knee may last longer than me on the planet. So we'll see. There you go. I am going to do a video here. Do you recall about the spring of this year, I was taking down a tree. There were 2 trees up in this area that had been blown over in a storm in previous years, even prior to us moving here. And I started hacking away at one of those trees, and until that tree finally stood upright, the root ball just pulled it right back up to a vertical position. Well, it's still up and it's leaning pretty good. I'm going to leave it as just a wildlife snag. I just wanted to stay there and let squirrels and whatever woodpeckers pick at it. But there's a sister tree over here, and this tree is a little bit more of a mess. There's a lot more going on. There are a whole lot of other trees involved, and it's a little bit precarious, if you will. I spent some time here yesterday working on the understory, giving myself some better footing so that I can analyze this and work out all the details and remain safe and alive. I'm going to be working from a ladder on some of this. Now, I don't recommend working from a ladder, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the hazards of working with a ladder and talk a little bit about how you can safely do it. A lot of you experts out there may disagree with me. Some of you may agree with me. That's fine. Put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. This tree has a lot going on, and I want to get it cleared up because, for one, I want the firewood from it, and number 2, I want it to be safe. So we're going to work on that. You guys want to do that? Shall we do this together? Let's do it, folks. Here we go, right now. Well, friends, here's the ladder I was talking about. This is my own contraption. I took a regular 8-foot aluminum ladder and I used construction framing, 2x4 steel, to make these little outriggers that flare out at the bottom to give this ladder some lateral stability. It's only 8 feet, but it does allow me to work in small trees with a manual pole pruner. They call these orchard ladders, and a typical orchard ladder is a tripod. It has the ladder along with just one pole in the back, but the base of the ladder flares out at the bottom pretty wide, I think even wider than this in some cases, and they're usually quite tall at the top and narrow. So they allow you to get up high and it keeps the center of gravity low, so that the chance of this thing tipping over is minimized. I don't recommend using power saws with ladders. Too many freaky things have happened, and they happen all the time. A year and a half ago, a 50-some-year-old man was injured while cutting a branch out of his son's tree, and somehow or another he fell from that ladder. The chainsaw ended up cutting his head, and he died from the injuries. Just in his 50s, a young man. So I don't recommend using ladders and chainsaws together, and some of you out there are going to disagree with that. That's fine. If you do it, please do your best to minimize the risk. You know, I mean, I'm not saying you should never do it, but be your own judge on whether or not you think it's going to be safe or not, and don't rule out how dangerous it can be. Accidents happen because they're accidents, and you don't think of all the different ingredients that go into creating an accident. So just use extreme caution. I'm not going to use this ladder today. I was going to use a pruning pole to cut some of these branches out, but I can't find a spot on this property that is level enough for me to feel secure up on this ladder, so I'm going to rule that out, and I'm going to take a different approach to getting these branches out of this tree. That's all I have to say, folks. just remember, whatever you decide to do, you're taking your life into your own hands. So make that decision yourself and make it a wise decision. All right, folks? All right, live long. Well, friends, so what we got going on now, I've got all of these high branches removed. There is another leader coming off of this that is lodged up in this broken off, looks like a sassafras maybe, tree. Could be a cherry. Anyway, it's lodged right up there where that fracture is. And so I'm thinking I can't cut it low to the base because I can't get close enough or high enough and remain safe. So I think if I get that removed though, what's going to happen is this segment here will then just, it'll probably stay there, but it will be able to be maybe pulled with a rope and drop down into this little space right in here. Or I can get it, well, I think that's probably going to be it. There's nothing keeping this segment here from sliding down now except for that leader right there. But it's all a little tricky because I was thinking maybe of crippling this one here, putting it's a leaner, it's leaning, and it's gone at the top. I don't know if you can see the top up here, it's gone, it's broken out. Okay, that right there is coming all the way down to here. So if I put a notch on the lean side of that to cripple it, then there's a possibility that I can make a back cut here. The problem with that is if this piece starts to slide down at that point, I'm going to be right in the path of the fall. So I need to think about this one a little bit more, folks. I've got some more work to do. There's another branch coming out right here, and that branch is also significant, but I'll have to see if I can get to that with a pole pruner. Let's find out if I can. Well, okay, I misjudged that one. I think it's going to come out of there, but all right, let's try to finish it off. I gotta watch above me here. Well, friends, the sun is starting to duck down over the horizon, but and the other thing is, when I made that cut, that branch started to actually break, and it threw the chain on my pole pruner. It's definitely a crippled branch right now. Probably if I got up and jumped on that big old log right there, it may crack. I'm not going to do that. But I don't have time to fix the problem and come back and finish this right now. So I'm going to head back home, and I'll probably come back out tomorrow, depending on the weather, and we'll finish this job up. But I want to get this stem on the ground so that I can cut it up and get some firewood out of it. So there you go. So anyway, friends, thank you again for watching. I appreciate you all very much. You all make my day, especially when I see you in the comments. So be kind out there, folks. This world is crazy, isn't it? It's just crazy nuts. I can't figure it out. I'm not going to try. It's a waste of energy. So I think all that we can do is, in our sphere of influence, amongst all the people that come in and out of our lives on a daily basis, let's just exercise kindness. Let's be thoughtful. Let's think of others before ourselves, but also look out for yourself. Don't get taken advantage of out there. Be as wise as serpents and as gentle as a dove. I'll see you in the next video. Over and out.